Hi, my name is Catalina Murillo, and welcome to my TED Talk. Today I'll be talking about classroom management. As a teacher with experience in the classroom and as an occasional teacher, I've learned a few tips and techniques that have helped me with my classroom management that I'd like to share with you today. Um, I would first like to start off with a quote from Marcia Tate, where she says, "A teacher's best defense against behavior problems is an engaging lesson." I think that's one of the most important things when you're trying to deal with classroom management is to have engaging lessons. If your students are engaged in your lessons, classroom management issues minimize. Let them feel your passion for teaching. Another thing that you can do in your classroom is you need to build a relationship with your students. Students that trust their teacher make more of an effort to follow the rules. You need to try to make a personal connection with those students. For example, in my classes, I love soccer. I grew up playing soccer, and that's the best way that I make connections with some of the students in my class. As soon as we start talking about soccer, if they play on a team, if who their favorite soccer player is, then we have that connection, and they want to come to me and they want to talk to me about soccer. They want to make things related to soccer in the classroom, and I try to do that with my students. Another thing that I like to do with my classes in regards to classroom management is make positive phone calls home. Um, Call home for celebrations instead of only for negative behavior. Parents want to hear news about their child, and they can both be proud. The student proud of themselves and the parent proud of that child. You're also more likely to get parent support when you do call about a behavior issue. So make sure you make those positive phone calls home, not only negatives. As well, another thing is in the classrooms, practice routines and classroom behavior expectations. You practice until they know what's expected of them, until they know how to follow the classroom routines. And this is usually done at the beginning of the school year, and it sets a tone for the rest of the school year. So, the first few weeks, just keep practicing routines, expectations. What does it sound like? What does it look like when it's quiet reading time? Or coming into the classroom routine, or end of the day routine. Another technique that has worked for me is eye contact with the students. So if I'm talking, if I'm giving instructions, or if I'm doing a lesson and the student interrupts, I just look at them and I firmly say, "It's my turn to speak." And I carry on with my lesson, and that tends to work quite a bit. Just reminding them that it's my turn to speak. If they have something to say, they know that they need to put up their hand. Um, Reinforcement of positive behavior. So instead of always focusing on the negative things that is happening, you focus on the positive. So, for example, and this works a lot with the younger students, I really like the way Diana got right to work and she's quietly sitting on her desk and she started her assignment already. Then the rest of the kids look around and like, "Oh, what's Diana doing? Okay, let me do that." Or I really like the way Daniel is sitting quietly on the carpet waiting for Miss Murillo. So that's something that I know works a lot. Another tip that I can give you for classroom management is learn from your colleagues. If there's a teacher in your school who's very effective with classroom management, ask him or her if they have any tips, if they have any suggestions. I'm sure they'll be happy to help. It's important to remember that classroom management is a skill that takes time, patience, and experience. So it's important not to get overwhelmed and just to continue to try out different techniques and figuring out what works for your class. I'd like to leave you with a quote from L.R. Nost. "When little people are overwhelmed by big emotions, it's our job to share our calm, not to join their chaos." Thank you for listening.